And let's go into weekly outlook. So, starting off with the daily chart, let me hide some levels here. So, we're still, actually, let's go into the weekly. We're still looking like we're going lower, honestly. And I don't know how much lower because the more time we spend below some certain levels, the bigger the flash we're gonna be getting, in my opinion. Uh, okay, sure, we got the POI here to hold price at 102, 104. Potentially, the only bull scenario, in my opinion, would be like a sweep here, reclaim, and then squeeze higher. Or on a lower time frame basis, some sort of reclaim above here, slow grind, and then squeeze higher. Right. Um, Now, price action wise only, I do think that if we don't bounce again at 102, 103, we're gonna be getting a move towards 85k easily, easily. So yeah, let me go through VWAPs. So starting off with the yearly VWAP, as you can see, uh, we're still rejecting developing year via high, right? So this is a pretty bad sign. As long Bitcoin is unable to reclaim above here and hold above basically 113k is our key level right here. If we don't manage to hold above here, I think we're gonna be getting a flash lower towards VWAP, and the scenario of sweeping here into VWAP is basically the scenario I was talking about price action wise here, right? So we got price action aligning with VWAP as well. So the only bullish scenario I'm looking at is a bounce of yearly VWAP, right? Into a reclaim of like some certain low here or whatever. We'll see how it will develop on lower time frame. Else, if we don't get a bounce and a reclaim, any sort of acceptance below, we're gonna be getting a full rotation towards, first of all, developing year by year low, and second of all, previous year by year high, right? So yeah, it's looking like we're into a door die situation. And as the time passes and we spend more time below developing year by year high, it's looking kind of over, honestly. So yeah, um, let me go through quarterly VWAP now. So you remember last week we talked about price being capped at previous quarter via high, right? So um, as you can see, we're just chopping around previous value, right? Previous value area low, along with previous quarter VWAP. So now that we're trading below previous quarter value area low, I think it will be a pretty solid level to reclaim in order to become bullish once again, right? Reclaim here for a potential squeeze higher. Now, if we don't reclaim and we keep on rejecting and basically breaking down, I do think we're gonna be getting a massive move lower because it's like expansion, right? So, bear scenario, rejecting and starting basically a downtrend right here. Bullish scenario, reclaim of 111k, 111, 112k for a potential squeeze higher. With the first rejection POI being at 114 basically, 115K. So that's pretty much it about the quarterly as well. 111K capping upside for now. And let's go into the monthly. New month, by the way, have a great month, everyone. Great month, great week. And let's see what's up. So, last week, I posted about previous month value low capping upside, right? Which it did. Twice here. Not twice. 1, 2, 3, 4 times here, right? And now we're getting a new value. So 108, 109 around these areas, and 114K basically. This is a pretty good POI if we manage to trade back up here. Pretty good POI to get a short in, short for a potential rotation lower, right? But look at what we're doing now. We're basically kind of holding scammy lows here, as you can see. We took out some internal liquidity, so it's pretty early in the month, but if we get some sort of reclaim here and we don't reject into 109, 109.5 around here, we flip, we're squeezing higher towards 114K. Now, if, because it's early in the week, early in the month, it's not this valid in my opinion, but if we reject here and we start trending lower, I do think we're getting a flash lower as well. And another scenario I'm looking at is a sweep of all these lows, right? Sweep here, pretty solid liquidity resting. Sweep, sweep, low hold, right? Reclaim, monthly value area low, previous month value area low, and squeeze higher. These are the three scenarios I'm looking at based on monthly value. And of course, if we come up here, basically you want to see momentum for a further move upside, towards upside, right? Around 120K, which is a pretty huge level going forward, right? So that's pretty much everything about monthly. And lastly, let's look at weekly value. So new week, new value, and it's a pretty solid one to play around, honestly. Much actually, last week was a solid one as well. Pretty cool weekly rotations, right? Pretty cool weekly rotations, lower. And yeah, so what about this week? This week, I do think, come on now, that for now, most important level, of course, is 109K, right? So if we squeeze up here, even today, on a Monday, I do think we're gonna be getting a pretty cool short opportunity on a rejection of this level to target these lows, basically. Now, the bull scenario would be some sort of slow grind, right? For a further squeeze towards 111.5 and furthermore towards value high. Value high, which aligns with our monthly VWAP, previous month VWAP, right? Pretty solid POI here for price to reject from. So yeah, rotational within 109 and 114, expansional below 109. This is the main ideas for this week. So that's pretty much it about TPO VWAP, sorry. And let's go into TPO. So reset this one. As you can see, we do have on weekly TPO, starting off weekly TPO, 1, 2, 3 weeks of overlapping value, right? So if I merge these 3 weeks, we do have a pretty cool composite forming here with value low sitting at 107.340 something and value high sitting at 113.130. So let me bring these levels into here. Let me ignore some other levels. So this is pretty much the value I'm looking at, right? So the play of a scammy low hold and a squeeze higher aligns with a 3-week value low. So basically here we have found support, right? So for a lower time frame play, I'm expecting like some sort of pullback here to long some higher towards 109, 109.5, or potentially even higher towards 114k basically. So let me bring up my levels. Actually, I'll do it later. And let's go so into the daily TPO. But before that, that's everything about the weekly. Rotational within value, right? Expansional below. That's pretty much it. So yeah, let's go into daily TPO. So on daily TPO, if you remember, we did have a composite that was formed here with these 5 days of overlapping value, right? So this composite, as you can see, has acted as resistance throughout these previous days, and we have come down to fill some inefficiencies. So now that we have filled NPOC from lower, we couldn't be getting a small bounce to target some other inefficiencies like uh, these single prints to begin with, or furthermore single prints up here as well, and poor highs sitting above. So yeah, it might be a good play as well if we come on lower time from a slow grind into 110 to look for longs to target 113, 114k basically. Aligns as well with our monthly VWAP outlook. So yeah, 114k, we do have some inefficiencies to fill. So if we get a move up here, it will be a pretty cool sort of opportunity. If reaction is there, right? Because if reaction is not there, we're not taking a short, obviously. So yeah, let me go into TradingView once again. So let's bring up everything together. VWAPs. I need to pay attention only for now. So let me adjust the levels here. Previous week by year low. Previous week VWAP. And previous week by year. So I don't need for now. Actually, I need this. I don't need previous quarter value area low. I don't need previous quarter VWAP. So yeah, okay. So we got some pretty solid levels to play around. So Play 1. Bounce off. POI here, NPOC as well. For scammy, low hold. And squeeze higher. Right. Play 2. Potentially give a short-term rejection here. Come down into previous week value low and previous month value low. Form some sort of a bottom for a potential squeeze even higher. Play 3. I'm looking at come into 114k, 113 point something, 114k, build some inefficiencies, and basically we're getting a full rotation of weekly value and 3-week value, weekly value, right, and 3-week value. So this will be a pretty cool rotational play if we get some longs down here. And get a potential short up into here, sweep internal liquidity, form some sort of distribution, start trading below our levels once again for rotational play once again. And last play I'm looking at, let me get rid of these. Okay, last play I'm looking at, reject off previous week value low, previous month value low, start trading below 3-week value low as well, expand lower. Also another play, I need to zoom out for this one. Do whatever it does here, sweep some highs, then sweep lows into a scammy low hold, reclaim some levels, and start slow grinding on the higher time frame basis for a squeeze much higher. So this is everything basically I'm looking for this week. Major, most important levels are 109, 109, and 114k, right? So rotational within these levels, expansional below or above, who knows? These levels, I don't need them. So yeah. Also lastly, if we do get acceptance above 114k, we're basically getting a rotation of a full rotation of previous month value and 5-week value, which was back from much earlier. So yeah, that's pretty much it, everything. I will stop the recording and jump into questions or rounding.